WHO here the other day, and he told us that the people who have died quite a bit in some of the areas are the medical staff and the pastors. The pastors. These are the ones who have died most. Why? Because the medical staff work carelessly. They examine patients without gloves. Instead of having a very strict routine, touching patients should be, I thought there was a rule that you should use gloves. I don't know whether that rule is there or what. But among the people who are dying are the medical staff. Because they touch people, they touch patients. And you remember our Dr. Rukia, one of our doctors who died some years ago, this was the problem. Touching patients. The pastors, the people of God, they are the ones who touch patients. That they are healing them. If you pray, God, you can pray, God is not deaf. You will pray without touching. God is not deaf. He will hear you. This misuse of the other time when we had Corona here, the Archbishop of Canterbury came here. They said he wanted to bless me. I said, no, I don't. You bless me from a distance. Don't touch me. He couldn't touch me. I could not greet him even. I refused. What's all this? In the book of Genesis, it says, establish dominion over nature. This is science. Establishing dominion over nature is to understand science. Man was created on Saturday, after all the other creatures were created, and God told him, establish dominion over these creatures, because you are cleverer. So we should use science. Don't touch people, bless them, because you are not the one who is curing them, it is God. You are interceding.
Hello, can you hear?
You are watching KTV, building a kingdom-focused generation.
I don't know how clean. Stop abusing, being like the Pharisees, just to be seen, not really doing the work of God. Because that's what the Pharisees would do, pray on the street corners, so that God sees them. So that, no, not God, the people see that they are religious. So the people are dying most in some of the situations. I don't want to talk where. The health workers, the pastors, by touching. Another big problem is handling dead bodies. That there are certain customs. Yes, those customs were there when there was no danger. How to wash dead bodies. But now that there is danger, it has been announced. If somebody is sick, call the doctors, because the doctors can tell you what sort of sickness this one is. But we do not want to, don't just hide and you just do it yourself. I hear that among the 19 cases in Uganda, 14 are from Congo and they are from a family. They will tell us about it, from one family. Yeah. So therefore, we now know how Ebola spreads. Saliva, blood, sweat, vomit. If somebody has vomited, sperms. Ebola can stay in a man for, I hear, 9 months. Yeah, that's what I hear. So this shaking of hands, please. I even told this WHO man, I saw him with the elbow. I said, please. What is the greeting for? Shaking of hands for what? There is a problem. You just wave at people. Now, therefore, kwa hiyo huu ugonjwa wa Ebola unaambukiza kwa mate. Mate is saliva in Swahili. Kwa damu, kwa jasho, na kwa kutapika. Na zile nyama ambazo za pori ambazo ziko na huu ugonjwa, ya kwanza ni nyani monkey, popo ni bat, na nyama zingine zinaonekana kama mbuzi huko porini. Hizo zote zinaweza kuwa. Now with this disease, there is no vaccine yet. And there is also no direct medicine for treating Ebola. But it kills. It is important to know that it kills by provoking the body to kill itself. That's what the virus does. The virus enters the body and provokes it to overreact. It's like a clever guerrilla who comes in a military camp where people are not well organized and shoots. And then the soldiers start shooting one another in panic. Because much of the death is caused by the high temperature caused by the body. The body tries to kill the virus by cooking, but raising the temperature. But in the end, it cooks itself, destroys its own organs. Vomiting, losing water, bleeding eventually. So, that's why the good thing is that it is survivable, because we already have survivors. We had survivors in the past outbreaks, we had survivors. These people can tell you how many survived the other time. I have some figures here, but I don't have time to go through them. But even now, we already have survivors. I think like 5 have already survived out of the 19. 2 are the ones who died. 2. There are still 2, they have increased. First Congolese man who came is the one who died in Chiburi, I think. And came with a sister-in-law. They came separated, but I think they were from the same place. The sister-in-law has recovered. She recovered. They recover because they get support. The doctors control the temperature. They tell the soldiers not to panic. The commander says, please, don't shoot aimlessly. Calm down, calm down. Controlled shooting. So they control the temperature. They rehydrate. Losing water, you put it back. Losing water, put it back. Water and salts and so on. Because when you vomit, you lose so many things. You lose water, you lose salts in the body. You put them back. You put the water, the fluids. So the body now has a chance to fight in an organized way. And people get cured. So which means the body overcomes. Otherwise, how would people get cured? Which we don't see, which is very difficult in AIDS, because AIDS, I don't know whether people have really had a cure. But this one, people have been cured. So it is very simple. It's just indiscipline. This one, people have been cured. Some have died, yes, but others have been cured completely. Because of controlling the other killers, the temperature, the loss of fluids, you find the body fights back and it overcomes the virus. Combined with the inability to spread so much like corona was spreading through breathing. This one is spreading through contact. This disease is easy to stop if only people are serious. So therefore, the most important thing is to report quickly to the doctors. Don't delay. Once you feel some symptoms of sickness, report. So that they check. And if it is Ebola, they start intervening early. Now, because this corona is involving other countries, this Ebola is involving other countries, we have had to stop mass movements of people from neighboring countries, especially Congo. That's why I think public transport was stopped. Correct? We only allow cargo. Why do we allow cargo? Cargo is very crucial. It's very crucial for countries, for businesses. Stopping this is like a blockade, as if we are at war. You can't do that. But the good thing is that cargo also requires a few people. Cargo requires a driver and a turnboy, 2 people. Finish. And these are easy to check. You can check them at the border. If they are sick, you. Now, the other good thing about Ebola, this Ebola is a disease. It's very easy. The other thing about Ebola is that it doesn't infect. Somebody is not infective until he starts getting sick. But the people don't have my anger with sickness. I don't like sickness. I don't like it. That's why. During the campaign, they were saying I should sit down with the other. I said, please, let me sit alone there, Mundeke. You look isolated. I said, God is with me. Don't worry about me. So this one, apart from infecting you only by contact, even that starts happening when somebody has started showing signs of sickness. Before the virus can be in the body, the person is not yet infective. So it's very easy. It's just small windows of just indiscipline. So that's why, therefore, we don't fear the cargo, petrol tankers, trailers. They have one driver, one turnboy. Finish. You check them. If they enter, somebody was saying, but they may come and they get sick when they are here. If they get sick when they are here, they will report. If they follow, they will report and get isolated. And the road is parked somewhere. Finish. It's not a big problem. But the passengers, okuzinduka, abanyarwanda call it okuzinduka. When you are going to check on friends, you postpone that. It's not the same thing as cargo. Cargo is a matter of life. Cargo is petrol, is food, is fertilizers. We need more urgently than just okuzinduka. I'm going to see my relatives. You hold on. You will see them later when the danger has gone. That's why we stopped the passengers. But now, some of them come through the border on foot and in boats. Now, that's where the danger is. First of all, by coming in that way, you take long. You are hiding, days pass. Even if you arrive in a health center, you have lost some time. So that's why we have worked with the Congo government, and these people will tell you what the exact plan, to open joint medical camps on the Congo side and announce it. We are here. If you feel sick, come. Don't try to go to Uganda, because there you delay. Come here, come. We think that one will help. Now, when we are dealing with this matter, you hear some people talking of culture. There is a culture of washing dead bodies, the culture of eating this, eating that. But these cultures are there to preserve us, not to kill us. If they can be modernized, for instance, the meat we are eating because of culture, if it can be, how can it be slaughtered safely? And cooked safely, and then maybe you can continue. But if it can't, some of the cultures have to be reviewed. You remember when AIDS came, there was the culture of, Wanyankole call it okungura. Okungura is wife inheritance. It was a duty, brother to inherit. In fact, even the Wanyankole have a saying that ry'umuhunguzi ureba barakiro. It was like constitutional. You had to inherit the wife of your brother who died, and it was a social arrangement, because the question was, this fellow has died. There is no social insurance. There are no pensions. Who will look after the children? Who will look after the wife herself? So that was the arrangement. But when AIDS came, we saw the danger and we said, please. And people started reviewing it. Female circumcision, how could you reform it? Female circumcision was wrong science. There was no way you could say you do it properly in a better way. There was no better way. So we had to confront our Kapchora people and say, please, this one. This is what the Banyankole call Embirito. Embirito is a cow which has died from anthrax. This one must be cremated. It can't be anthrax, because anthrax, even if you boil the meat may not, the virus may not die. Also, some people tried to eat it, that they would boil the meat and they died. So some of the cultures need to change. The Banyankole used to drink milk without boiling it, until we found that. Until we came to know what Louis Pasteur, the Frenchman, who first saw the microbes, who started knowing what he had seen. that there are microbes in the milk which we don't see. And we have to boil it. We have to abolish that culture. So I appeal to our people to review those cultures. Now, but also connected with all this is the issue of invading the forests. I will get time and write something about the trade order and the environmental restoration which I see going on. I will have something and write. These issues are not just environment. It is also survival, our survival. I have not studied it, but I will challenge these people to study it and inform you. The bats. I normally see the bats flying at night. Eating, I think they eat insects. Do they eat insects? Yes. So the bats, you may find the bats are also part of the balance of nature. They do some good work. Maybe they are doing some good work. Eating the insects, because if the insects were not eaten, they would be too much, they will overpower us. So I don't know whether it is correct to campaign for the extermination of the bats. If the bats are exterminated, is it good? But me, I suspect, because I normally see them eating insects. And I had no problem with the bats. They were there at Chamate Boys School. They were in the roof. We were not bothering with them. Because they don't eat other things. It's only now that they have this problem. So, if they were in the forest, and we are not invading the forest, disturbing their habitat, and they come, eat the insects, go back, that's how, it's part of the balance of nature. They would actually be doing a good job. But when we invade the forests, and the caves, and the what, that's how we now provoke problems also. Kwa hiyo wenzangu, huu ugonjwa wa Ebola ni rahisi kusimamishwa, kukomeshwa, kwa sababu kwanza hauambukizi sana. Sio kama corona kupita kwa pumuzi. Mpaka ushikane na mtu mkono, au mbadilishane vitu vinatoka kwenye mwili, ndio anakuambukiza. Au kula zile nyama ambazo tumetaja pale. Cha pili, hata baada ya kushikwa ugonjwa, ushifika haraka kwa matibabu, unaweza kupona. Kwenye watu 19 ambao wamekutwa na Ebola hapa Uganda, 5 wameshapona. Nne kwa hao 19 ni watu wetu, ndugu zetu kutoka Kongo, na inasemekana wanatoka kwenye familia moja. Kwa hiyo mambo mawili. Kwanza, ugonjwa hauambukizi sana kama corona, ni rahisi kukomeshwa. Tukiacha kushikana mikono, tukiacha kufanya ile mambo yote tumetaja hapa, kushika maiti bila kujua mtu amefariki kwa sababu gani. Wale watu wa Mungu kuweka mikono juu ya wagonjwa, waganga, watu wafanyakazi wa afya, kushika wagonjwa bila kinga, bila gloves. Hizo gaps zote ndizo zinaleta shida, lakini rahisi kusimamishwa. Wacha niachie hapa, alafu niulize kama waganga wanataka kuongezea. Add anything, you people.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that elaborate explanation to the viewers and listeners about this disease, the Ebola outbreak. Your Excellency, like you have clarified, Ebola belongs to a group of diseases we call zoonoses or zoonosis. This one means that the organism when that organism, in this case the virus, crosses the human being, it causes the disease. And it was first identified in 1976 in Congo, Zaire. That is the right name Ebola from a river in northern Congo. In that community where it was first identified, but there was a simultaneous outbreak in Sudan, 1976. And since then, there have been outbreaks. Congo, DRC is now experiencing, I think, the 17th outbreak. In Uganda, we had the first outbreak in 2000, and we are now having the 9th outbreak. Those who have been having outbreaks, some big, like the one which was in northern Uganda, and even individual. Others have been small. You have explained there are animals which are reservoirs, which harbor this virus, and the most bird having affected the fruit, and then the young boy ate the fruit. But there are also other animals like monkeys and the non-human primates like chimpanzees. Even pigs have also been found to harbor, they can harbor this virus. And actually, information shows pigs and chimpanzees can actually fall sick. For them, they can even fall sick of this Ebola. And once it infects you, it takes 2 to 21 days to incubate before it develops into symptoms and one gets sick. Your Excellency, like we have emphasized, it's a dangerous disease, but it will be easy to manage or prevent if people followed the do's and don'ts, because it's not like COVID or others. you get it through physical contact with fluids of somebody who is having the virus. And when the virus maybe settles in your hands, on the skin, then it enters through openings. If your skin is intact, the virus may not enter, but if it has abrasions or injuries, it can enter. Then also through the other body openings, like you may have the virus in your hands. If you touch your mouth, you touch your nose, touch your ears, eyes, sexual organs, like through sex, those are openings which can allow the virus to enter your body, and then it causes damage, like you have explained. This virus has different strains or types, up to 6, but those which cause the disease in humans are mainly 3, and they are named according to where they were discovered. Like that we call Ebola Zaire, Ebola Sudan, then Ebola Bundibujo. The current outbreak is caused by that Ebola Bundibujo. It's called Bundibujo because in 2007 and 2008 we had an outbreak in the Bundibujo. When they isolated the virus, it was different from the one which had appeared in Congo and appeared in Sudan. There are other strains, but they are not non-pathogenic. They don't usually cause illnesses in human beings. And like you have said, the other strains, like the one of Zaire, they have vaccines and drugs. But this Bundibujo doesn't have a vaccine yet and a drug yet. But there are trials which are being done, but they are not yet conclusive. And that's why we must be very careful and follow what health workers and what you are telling the public, so that we avoid and prevent getting this illness, since we don't have a vaccine and a drug yet. But like you have clearly explained, if somebody comes early and is attended to by health workers, you can go through the sickness and you get cured and you are sent home, like the 5 who have been managed under our system, and they have been discharged and they have gone home. The problem is that the symptoms of Ebola disease are like those of malaria and typhoid, and it's important for the public to know. You get fever, headache, nausea and vomiting, joint pains. If you get worse, you can start getting bleeding from different parts of the body. So people out there, someone might fall sick and they think it's malaria. So it is important that if somebody develops any of these symptoms, especially if you have had contact with somebody who is sick or those who live on the borders with the DRC, it's important they go early enough to the health facilities, because the health workers can manage these cases, Your Excellency. The Ministry of Health and the government have mounted a huge response to contain this outbreak, and like we have explained, most of the cases that have tested positive are imported cases, because the epicenter, or where this outbreak started, is in our neighboring country, DRC, in Ituri province. But the other provinces like North Kivu and South Kivu have also registered cases. So we appreciate your guidance that instead of allowing many more Congolese coming into Uganda, we go and work with the Congolese government and the people to establish treatment centers across in areas close to the border, because there is a belief and perception in the DRC that, which is correct, that there is better management of the cases here in Uganda. And that's why many friends and brothers and sisters in the Congo try to come to Uganda to get better care. Even the first person who came and died came as a patient. I think he didn't reveal that he was sick, and was admitted in Kivuli Hospital, managed by health workers. He came on the 10th, died on the 14th. Then on the 15th, that's when the health workers confirmed it was Ebola, but he had come for treatment. So, like we have guided, we are going to establish the treatment centers, up to 4 centers in the DRC, and we work with the WHO and the health workers in the Congo, but also we take our experts to Congo so that the Congolese know that the good services they would be getting here in Uganda can be got from their own country, and then we minimize the numbers which are coming into Uganda, Your Excellency. But we have also mounted a strong campaign, especially in the districts and communities bordering DRC, and give them measures like we have closed the markets and all these gatherings. We have advised people to avoid weddings and big parties, and the health workers, the RDCs, and the other government workers are seriously mobilizing together with the Ministry of Health staff. Maybe where people are still concentrated, but we have given them guidelines like in schools, because we didn't want to close schools, but all schools have been given guidelines on infection control measures, like ensuring that the learners can wash their hands, use sanitizers, and all the preventive measures. And also the churches and the prayer gatherings, they have got all the guidelines on what to do to ensure that those who come for prayers remain safe and do not become a vehicle for transmitting the virus, Your Excellency. So we further appeal to Ugandans to be watchful, to be on the lookout, that if we follow these basic measures, we can be able to arrest the transmission and wipe out this outbreak as soon as possible, Your Excellency. Maybe my team can add any more comments.
Excellency, you asked in the last outbreak, the total people that were infected was 14, and 2 died before they go to our treatment unit. But all the people we got in our treatment unit were treated and got better and went home.
The 12.
Outbreak.
The 12.
The 12.
Mm.
And in West Africa, Your Excellency, those who died were 11,000 people who died in 2015 in West Africa.
Mm.
At the moment, we have discharged 5, but all our patients that have been in ETU, the ones that have been treated are getting better, the ones that were really, really sick, they are getting better, and so we will also discharge. We don't anticipate anyone to die in our ETU. All the people we got this time who have been treated in our isolation center. But Excellency, I wanted also to add something that we are seeing of great interest that is going to add also the knowledge, global knowledge on Ebola. We have seen that when people start getting symptoms, the virus is highly concentrated in the saliva, in the vomitus, and in the stool. It is high concentration. It is much more concentrated in the
Alimentary canal.
intestinal system, more than even in the blood. Even the people who are clearing the virus, now we are changing our protocol because we don't go by only the blood, that when the blood is cleared of the virus, we let go. Even for women, for men we know that the semen keep the virus for a longer period. Some have gone to, as you said, up to 9 months. For women, we were very interested. We want also to check to know whether also in their fluid that virus stays for long. But what is very clear now is that even when people clear in the blood, the virus takes a little longer to clear in the saliva and in the stool and in the vomitus. So people even can clear, can get better, but when that they are still shedding some virus, meaning that the alimentary canal is a very fertile ground for the virus to multiply, and really it's like a safe haven. I think that there is no strong defense in the alimentary canal that fights it, but also that's why it multiplies very, very fast. So we are saying, number one, that even when somebody has symptom of fever, do not share a cup. Do not drink on a bottle someone has drunk. Do not share a cup. Number two, for people who are in the villages during mango times and all these fruits season, do not eat on any fruit that you have found that is bitten or it has some broken part, because you do not know what animal could have eaten that fruit. Number three, right now we do not encourage in church to use a cup for Holy Communion, because that is a big risk for infection spread, not just Ebola, but even other infections like hepatitis B. It's highly infectious in saliva, so you can infect. So as we are educating the public, we are also gathering more evidence that will help us to refine our protocols on treatment, on prevention, and also on how we are going to continue engage the public on the prevention. Thank you, Excellency.
Your Excellency, thank you.
That is the commander of diseases. Is the Commander General.
No, Your Excellency, I'm now also converted more prevention.
Oh, yes. Is now Director General of Health Services.
Yes, please.
You want us to remain healthy rather than disease.
Yes, please. Your Excellency, as you clearly indicated, the people at risk are really the health workers. Because the 5 cases which we got, 4 of them are health workers. And then the other one was the driver who transported the first case. And
our health workers of Uganda.
Of Uganda, yes.
Mm-hmm. Who handled the Congolese carelessly?
They handled the Congolese because this particular patient, I think they got into the process. She was very sick, and then she got into a cardiac arrest, so she got into a process of resuscitating the what? So the exposure was very, very huge. Because also we are seeing that others might be exposed, but they are not self-converting, they are not getting the disease. So this particular group, because it's actually in one hospital, that's in Kampala Hospital, all the 4 happen to be what? In that place.
So how are they trying to resuscitate?
I think definitely you do a cardiac what? And trying to put a tube in the what? In the CPR.
Without gloves?
They probably had gloves, because at that time, that particular patient had now in the terminal stage of dying, and she was having signs of bleeding. Because that's what we are also seeing, that normally as they are dying, actually when the person is dying, the virus also does not want to die with the dying person. So it gets into the surface of the what? Of the body, and so all the body is very infectious. That's why the bodies are really super spreaders. Like remember when we had in Kasanda, where a group which went and exhumed a dead body, and then they had a very big exposure. So really our call is to the health workers that they need to protect themselves, put on gloves, sanitize and wash hands. Those are really preventive mechanisms, can protect them, protect their patients, but also protect their families.
But in this case, where was the carelessness?
The carelessness now, because now I am sure that the patient there was a lot of bleeding and probably a lot of probably vomiting, a lot of fluid coming through the throat, and even when they were trying to put the endotracheal tube, there was already bleeding which was coming out. So in the process, the glove sometimes...
How could they have done it safely?
Now,
to put on the gown?
In that kind of patient now, they needed to have put in what we call now, they needed to put in an Ebola suit, where they should have been able to have goggles. Because like when you spoke about the late Mercy Lukuya, the exposure he had is that the patient was agitated because of restless, because he was about to die. So in the process, a lot of either you coughed, then it got into his what? Into his face. So that's how he got contamination. So it gave him a lot of high risk exposure.
Okay, so Ugandans and other friends, this is what we wanted to share with you. Have we had any new cases in the last?
No, in the last 5 days, we've not registered any additional cases.
Please, you can see this is a very simple thing. A few people came from Congo. A total of how many now, including the ones who died are all Congolese? The two. So that means that 16 Congolese came, and
the 14 included the two who died.
The total are 14.
Oh, 14, okay.
The two died, 12 are the ones that we've been treating.
So you people, Uganda, you can see now, this is just simple mismanagement of something that can be managed. 14 people from Congo came. The two who came late died. The 12 who came early, 5 have already recovered. All the 5 are Congolese.
One is a Ugandan, the driver.
Okay.
Then the 4 are Congolese.
So out of the 12, Congolese, 4 have recovered. The Ugandans are 5. So 1 has recovered now. That means the ones who are still sick are 4. And they are all health workers. So the story is clear. Some sick people from Congo came, they were not handled carefully here. That's all. Now with the little alertness we have had, although me I'm not satisfied because I was at Kololo, and I was watching those MPs dying to hug one another. And, it's as if they are bewitched. Bano babaloze o babalobatia. Awa wamelogwa awa wako namna gani. In spite of all that, 5 days now, no new case. It looks as if the fire of Ebola has started going down. So therefore, please, we've got a lot of work to do. Let's be very serious. We don't have to keep playing around with it. Listen carefully and act. This is easy to stop. We stopped it in the past, we can stop it now. Thank you so much.